Hello, I'm Olga, a certified nutritionist and a personal trainer, PhD, and today we are going to talk about speeding up your metabolism to help you lose weight. First of all, let's define what is metabolism. In popular sense, this is how fast we burn calories during the day. In other words, this is how many calories we can burn during 24 hours. And all of us probably have a friend who can eat anything they want, and they do not exercise much, and they stay thin and slender. And we say normally about such people, they have fast metabolism. And I have slow metabolism. I gain weight just from looking at the croissant. And this is true. Some people do have fast metabolism and some people have slow. But good news, we can speed our metabolism up. Science already knows what constitutes the metabolism. What people, human, spend their calories on, which activities. And normally, what we normally do to help us burn more calories and lose weight? We exercise, right? But more often than not, that can be counterproductive. I in no way tell you exercise is bad and ineffective. It's amazing. But today we'll dive a little bit deeper and you will learn something new. So, to understand how we can influence the calories we burn, we need to know the parts of our metabolism, the elements. And they are BMR, basal metabolic rate. These are the calories we burn just to stay alive. This is what our internal organs burn. Our heart, liver, kidneys, the calories we spend on breathing and blood circulation. And yes, these are the calories we spend when we do not move at all. Even during sleep, we burn quite a lot of calories. And second element is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That's the scientific word for it. And this just means any activity, any movements, any body movements, the tiniest ones even. It can be fidgeting, it can be standing, it can be walking, washing dishes, typing something on a keyboard, and so on. I'm talking to you and using gesticulations, and this burns a lot of energy. Then we have exercise activity, thermogenesis, calories we burn on exercise, and finally, thermic effect of food, calories we burn to digest what we eat. So one of these elements should determine our metabolism, or maybe a couple of them. And I'll tell you straight away that that's not thermic effect of food. It's normally 10% of our total daily energy consumption. It's not much and we cannot influence it. Maybe it is BMR. Let's look at BMR. Basal metabolic rate. To identify yours, you need to multiply your body weight by 22 if you're a woman and by 24 if you're a man. There are more precise formulas out there, especially if you have high fat percent or a lot of muscles, but this will give you a rough idea. This number is quite big. For example, I am 67 kilograms, multiplied by 22, it's 1400 calories. That's quite a lot. But scientists say that BMR does not differ much between people of the same weight. And we cannot influence it. So, bye-bye. Next is activity. Non-exercise and exercise activity. I'll tell you straight away, non-exercise activity is the most important element, and these determine our metabolism. And one of the best studies that proves it was conducted many years ago, in the previous century, in a metabolic chamber. So people spent 24 hours in a metabolic chamber, one by one, of course, where there was a sofa, a TV set, toilet. They couldn't exercise much, they couldn't walk much. They could not perform any formal physical activity. And nobody probably would drop down and do push-ups. And scientists found that the difference in calories burned, independent on weight, so that's not BMR, was between 100 and 800. So some people would burn 800 calories more than others. By doing what? Fidgeting. Mostly fidgeting and just being a little bit more energetic. We all know someone who would sit in the cinema or lecture theatre and they cannot sit still. They may be annoying, they will be constantly tapping with their foot and fidgeting on their chair, and these are the people who have high metabolism, and these are the people who burned all that energy in the metabolic chamber where they couldn't walk, run around, exercise. And yes, this study is quite old, but it was proven again and again that our metabolism is determined by need. Moreover, when people lose weight, their need decreases a lot and never returns. This is why it is so hard to maintain weight after you lose weight. Now, you may think that why are we talking about it? It's not that important. It's small movements. Probably they do not burn many calories. But as I already said, some people could burn 800 calories more than others by just being a little bit more fidgety. This is determined by genetics. So can we change it? And yes, we can, because non-exercise activity also includes different everyday tasks. So, for example, moms of small kids burn a lot of energy running after them. If you take a toddler, for example, carrying them around, they're constantly moving. And that's why probably they do not need a gym, because they burn so many calories looking after their children and maybe performing some tasks at home. Then people who walk a lot, every 2,500 steps burn 100 calories on average. Of course, if you are a bigger person, you will burn more, a smaller person, you will burn less, but that's quite a lot. For example, my step count on average weekly, not every day, but on average during the week, is 12,500. It is indeed so. So I burn 500 calories by just walking. So I walk to the office and I walk back. It's approximately 40-45 minutes. My walk back is uphill, so this burns even more calories. So I am quite active in my everyday life, even without exercise. These are additional 500 calories on top of my 1400 of basal metabolic rate. So I already get 1900 calories, which is much more than an average woman burns per day. And maybe you still think that exercise is still important. Well, it can be, but mostly if you are a professional athlete or you exercise very hard every day. Let's look at numbers. So you already know that my walk to work and back is 500 calories. And then I move a little bit around the house as well. And for health purposes, for health reasons, to maintain my muscle mass, I do 2 circuit trainings weekly. It involves some heavy, medium lifting, so it's resistance training circuits. They last 45 minutes, but we warm up in the beginning of the workout and we cool down, so effective work is around 30 minutes. During this workout, I burn approximately 250 calories. And this is what an average person would burn during resistance training. That's not much. So you see, I burn more calories walking than exercising. Now, if my workout was longer and more intense, I would probably burn 500-600 calories. That's what a really good runner would burn in an hour of running. But think about yourself. Are you ready to run every day for an hour in a very, very high tempo? Probably not. I myself, I hate running, so I don't run. And I was really, really happy to find out that I don't have to run to maintain my weight. Walking will do. At the same time, if you are short of time, if you don't have time to walk, and you have a sedentary job, then fair enough, you may need to add vigorous exercise every day. So let's look at numbers. How many calories exercise burns? Low intensity exercise, such as resistance training of an average person, or my circuits burn more, or fast walk burns 5 calories per minute. Medium intensity exercise, that will be your fast run, not sprint, but just quite a good quality run, 10 calories per minute. This is where I took 600 calories from. And then high intensity exercise, where you do not have oxygen for energy, which you cannot sustain for long, burns 15 calories per minute. But it is so high intense that we cannot maintain such intensity for 30 minutes. We're working hard for 30 seconds, 2 minutes, and then we have a rest period, and then again. So we cannot just take 15 and multiply by, say, 30 minutes, because it's interval training. There are high intensity intervals and low intensity intervals. So again, this high intensity is high calorie burning, but we cannot sustain it for long. Moreover, it is not advised to perform high intensity training more than twice per week, because your organism needs recovery from such an intense workout. So if you calculate, you'll see that to beat my walking every day, you need to exercise every day, and this should be quite an intense exercise. Now, philosophical question, does it fit your life? I know many people who do run every day and their exercise is quite intense, but I know even more people who cannot maintain such intensity every day, and fair enough, our organisms need recovery. Now, we all have busy life. I don't know many people who can afford to go to the gym 1 hour a day. So exercise is quite a questionable instrument of increasing your metabolism. You need recovery from it, you need time to do it, you need mental effort to do it. And in no way I tell you do not exercise. You must, absolutely. If there is one thing you can do for yourself, it may be not nutrition, but exercise. But the calories exercise burn are overvalued. And the calories that non-exercise activity burns is not appreciated enough. And the last straw on camel's neck, exercise is 1 hour per day and non-exercise activity is 23 hours per day. And it's so important what we do outside of the gym. And you can look at numbers that walking may burn as many calories as lifting does, brisk walking. And sitting and fidgeting and standing and fidgeting, if we multiply it by 8 hours, that burns a considerable amount of calories. What else we can take from these numbers? Is that sedentary workers do not burn many calories during the day. And even if they exercise 3 times per week, moderate intensity, they still can be classed as inactive if they do not do anything else, if they drive home, sit down and watch TV. This is why exercise may not help them lose weight, because they burn only 250 calories, like me. And I would be gaining weight if I just exercised twice per week. Another important piece of informational conclusions we can make from these numbers is that we can do something about our daily life. Maybe we can choose more active hobbies, where we should stand or walk and not sit. Maybe we can purchase a standing desk instead of sitting. We can compare sitting motionless and standing and fidgeting. If we multiply standing motionless calories by 8 hours per work day and standing and fidgeting by 8 hours of a work day, the difference will be huge. This is where your good metabolism comes from. Yeah, I know many people cannot afford standing and working, they cannot concentrate. But this is just one of solutions. We need to be creative. Maybe get yourself a walking board. You don't need a running machine, a treadmill. You need a treadmill for walking. They are not as expensive and they're not as huge, they're more compact. And you can jump on your walking board, or whatever you call it, walking machine, anytime you have a call. You call your mother, you jump on your walking machine, or you can go out and do the same. Then you can book walking meetings, or if on the Zoom calls you can stand up and do them standing, do that as well. It's important to sit down and think how you can bring more activity, more physical activity into your life. Maybe instead of hiring a cleaner, you can clean your house yourself. Maybe instead of leaving your kids for an hour and running to the gym, maybe you can play active games with them. Many men I know who struggle with their bellies think that they need to go to the gym, classical 3 times per week, lift heavy weights, eat chicken and broccoli, and then they will have six-pack. But that's not true. There are many opportunities to burn more calories during the day. Not many people have an opportunity to go to the gyms. During some periods of life, indeed, we just do not have time, we do not have mental energy, but we still can add more activity to our life. And improve our metabolism by taking stairs instead of taking a lift, parking further away from supermarket, parking further away from your office to walk, during dinner time, during lunchtime, going out and making a circle around the area and not sitting all the time. Get yourself an activity tracker, and they are not precise, but they will give you a rough idea of how many calories you spend by performing physical activity. And then again, you can compare how many calories you burn during the exercise, how many calories you will burn during hiking on weekend. So if we are aware, we can make better decisions. In one of the books, a lady is described who used to take her car and drive to the gym to do a cycling class during lunchtime. So she worked in the office and drove to cycling class instead of lunch, 3 times per day. Let's look at numbers. 250 calories per class, because it was a 30-minute class, multiplied by 3, divided by 7. She won 100 calories per day. It would take it as an average. Of course, the results would be better if she cycled 7 days per week, but again, I, as a nutritionist and personal trainer, I do not demand from you to exercise every day. You can, but it is not necessary. It's more important to be active outside of the gym. Again, for some people, exercise is the only activity they can do, and they exercise intensely, and that's great. But we are all different, and we need to find a right balance for ourselves. So let's take me. My need is 1400 and a little bit. My non-exercise activity thermogenesis 500. Then my 2 sessions per week, 250 calories by 2 divided by 7, less than 100 calories. And as a result, I have quite a good metabolism. And I can afford eating a lot and allowing myself all the different food and not gain weight. I choose consciously to walk because I enjoy walking. A couple of my clients told me that walking feels as a chore, and this is also not right. We all need to find activity that is good for us, that feels good, that we enjoy. So again, being creative about the types of activity, trying different things. It not necessarily should be a gym, although working out with a personal trainer, with a good one, can be the most effective way, the healthiest way to approach exercise. But you can play tennis, you can swim, you can do yoga, you can walk, play golf, and so on. This all contributes to health, that all contributes to calories burned and enjoyment, and doing exercise for a good reason, to feel good, to stay healthy, is very important. Not to burn calories and lose weight and look good for others. I will touch this topic a little bit later on this channel, but so far, a big take home from this video: become more active in your everyday life, and your metabolism will be higher. Especially if you lost weight and now have to maintain it, you need to be super proactive with exercise, with non-exercise activity, to keep your metabolism high and to maintain your results.